I'm going to leave you with a documentary from Emadeb Energy. It's all about energy. Great documentary. Stay tuned.
The Nigerian oil and gas sector, once dominated by foreign players, is undergoing a significant transformation. Indigenous companies are now playing major roles, investing in assets and acquiring stakes from divesting international oil companies. One such player is Emadeb Exploration and Production Company, making significant strides in the industry.
The word Emadeb generated and came up from a mix of names that got us to where we are here. So we had Emadeb Energy Services. Emadeb Exploration and Production was a company that was birthed from the Emadeb group of companies, and that's what went fully into the upstream business. And we took it to the next level. We actually started having assets aside by the 5th, 7th year of our full operation as a company. We built one of the big terminals for petroleum product distribution here in Lagos. And equally, we started expanding on other assets, gas terminals, the retail space, and so many other things that we went on doing. And that's the way we've taken on the upstream side of the business equally as well.
Emadeb Energy, the flagship company of Emadeb Exploration and Production Company, was established in 2008 with a focus on the downstream sector. Over the years, the company has expanded into midstream operations, gaining stability and expertise.
Emadeb Energy, the vision to build, serve and power possibility has been what has actually guided our journey. From our humble beginnings in the downstream sector to becoming a fully integrated indigenous energy company. You know, that's, for me, it brings a lot of smiles to my face because it's a huge accomplishment. When you start to then, operate side by side the IOCs, I think it's commendable. We started with a simple mission to deliver energy that fuels homes, industries, like that Emadeb has the retail arm, we have our lubricants, and we just wanted to support the national growth. Through integrity, those are the things that have, powered us over the years. Innovation and resilience. We built partnerships and systems that stood the test of time.
The turning point came in 2020 when the Nigerian government introduced initiatives to encourage indigenous companies to participate in the upstream business. Seizing this opportunity, Emadeb Exploration and Production Company participated in the 2020 marginal bid round and was announced as one of the winning bidders, securing the Ibom field. Here, there are no fences, but deep waters stretching far into the distance. And where I'm standing is the Ibom field, 82 feet offshore, Akwa Ibom State.
First collaboration is government giving an enabling environment for private businesses to thrive. We need to give thanks to the then government who came up with their drive with trying to encourage indigenous companies, to probably partake in the upstream business of Nigerian oil and gas. The company bidded in the 2020 marginal bid rounds, And to the glory of God, in 2021, we were actually announced as one of the successful bidders for the field that were allocated by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources year 2021.
Having successfully acquired license, we embarked on the drilling and production of the assets in Q3 2023 as one of the foremost companies that embarked on this drilling and production of the assets. We also proceeded to continue with the well test of this asset. We've been able to bring that to production. We're excited about this opportunity by the Federal Government of Nigeria through the regulatory body, NUPLC, to enable us to achieve this success. I would believe this opportunity would help us in propelling our nation in achieving the additional 1 million barrel of production required towards sustaining energy in Nigeria and the world as a whole.
Strategically situated 30 kilometers offshore within OML 70, the field boasts significant in-place volume of 103 million barrels of oil. Today, Emadeb Exploration and Production Company operates the Ibom field. With drilling operations concluded, the company has successfully achieved first oil, marking a key milestone in the field's development.
Here in Emadeb, with their management experience and the team, we studied the field, put all the necessary enablers in place, and commence operation. We've known the kind of terrain we are dealing with, so all the necessary preparation were done, ranging from studying the tide pattern, the terrain we are dealing with is Nigeria offshore, and also the sailing time, availability of equipment, and most importantly, the QAQC of those equipment to our offshore field, which is the Ibom field. So putting all these things in place to ensure we are ready and firm for operation is what gave rise to where we are today. We try to, as much as possible, ensure the moment we require an equipment offshore, the basic QAQC will be carried out prior to approval, and then we prepare it, send it to the jetty, and ensure it gets to the field on time for use.
The company's aim is to develop the field and contribute to Nigeria's oil and gas production capacity.
Ibom 3X is the first well in the marginal field from Ibom field. It was acquired from ExxonMobil, OML 70, and now this field is now called PPL 236. We drilled this well in 2023. Right now, Nigeria is in need of increase in production, and we get this well to market. Other development wells will come behind it, and we'll be able to get this field to full field production in the next 2 to 3 years. That is the target from the Ibom field.
This well is going to determine what is going to happen to the other reservoirs. We're trying to make sure that we get the production, at least see what the well can deliver. We increase our oil production in Nigeria.
Emadeb Exploration and Production Company has established a strong working relationship with Nigeria's Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, collaborating closely to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements.
If there was proper collaboration and in which partnerships are key in Nigeria, what we should have done with this asset was just to pipe into existing facilities of the former ExxonMobil. But as we encountered all sort of challenges in trying to talk to these companies. And again, these are where a lot still have to do, where the regulators will have to come in.
The company remains committed to maintaining a positive and productive relationship with the regulator.
The target of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that the country goes back to 2.5 million barrels a day. What the regulators have been doing since 2023-24 is targeting additional 1 million barrels. So what we were talking about was that at some point between 2023, OPEC approved 1.5 million barrels per day for Nigeria. But unfortunately, for the long run, till probably about late last year, we're battling between 1.2 million barrels and 1.4. But thanks to the commitment of this government, you can see that with the efforts being made on security, with the effort being made on so many things, our production has really increased, including condensate, to about 1.7 million barrels now. So kudos to this government. This government has done very well. There's so much, that needs to be given back to this government, because the drive to achieve sustainability, the drive to achieve success for the country and bring the country to where the GDP and the citizens are going to probably enjoy from what the benefits of this are all about is what we're trying to achieve here at Emadeb.
Emadeb Exploration and Production Company is committed to contributing to Nigeria's daily crude oil production, helping the nation to meet its OPEC quota and generate more revenue for the federal government. I can't go beyond this point, but that's the Ibom 03 oil well with a production capacity of 2,300 barrels per day, with prospects of increasing in the coming months and years.
This field holds about 100 million barrels. This well is expected to produce about 4,000 barrels a day from both strings. We have completed this well optimally in a way to produce from 2 different reservoirs, 5 IB2 and 6 IB2. Both combined will give us 4,000 barrels of oil per day. We are super excited to get this well on production, get it to market, and start contributing our piece to the 1 million drive initiative of the federal government of Nigeria to increase productive capacity in the country. We actually moved from license to first oil, and today we celebrate full production. Wow, there's been, so many obstacles, but we have kept our focus. We did not allow the challenges to distract us. We did not allow the obstacles to derail us. We're able to drill the first well, but now we're looking to expand. We take our production at the Ibom, asset from 3,000 barrels a day to 4,000, 12,000, as we progress with our wells. And that's going to also impact the vision, supporting the nation in achieving its goal. And I think it's commendable for an indigenous company like us that has grown organically, from the downstream. Everything else we do in terms of operations in Emadeb, our giving back to the communities that we serve and, to the nation at large is actually at the core of what we do.
The company recognizes the critical role the oil and gas industry plays in driving economic growth and development in Nigeria.
It's a game changer. So an operator offshore, shallow offshore, fully indigenous, financed by a local bank, and significant equity. The business case is strong. It has the right team, the right expertise, the right governance. The entrepreneur has the right vision and has the right support from the regulator. I think you need more of Emadeb. Like everybody scales, you will actually meet and exceed that quota. And the production numbers that the federal government is aspiring to achieve will be exceeded in time.
From the support the government provided through the encouragement of indigenous operators to participate in the upstream oil and gas space, Fidelity Bank took a very, very decisive action to support several marginal field players, including Emadeb. And prior to our coming into the asset, the company has already invested over $70 million of owners' fund in the field. So we thought it was necessary for us as a bank to support the customer. And we took them through the various steps of our typical credit evaluation, working with consultants and legal counsels to do extensive due diligence. And following from that, the board graciously approved a suite of facilities for the company, through which we were able to get them to go back and do an intervention on their assets. Following from that intervention, we are very, very delighted to hear that the asset has come into production now, and Emadeb has reached first oil. They are planning to do their first crude oil exports from the Ibom field, which is scheduled sometime in this November. And it is our desire to continue to support indigenous participation in this space and also support customers like Emadeb
to further develop the assets. And we know that this Emadeb asset is capable of producing over 30,000 barrels per day. So subsequent to this, there will be phase 2 and there will be phase 3 development programs to which Fidelity Bank has committed to continuous support to the customer.
Fidelity Bank supported us to where we are at production today, and the costs of drilling operations offshore, everyone knows that for you to even supply a bottle of water from land to sea, and we're talking from a sea, probably from land location to a sea point where you have to go for almost about 24 hours by boat a day. And you know the cost of chartering an helicopter, just to fly 45 minutes offshore, a day. So these are things that are not cheap. These are very critical to successes of any operation offshore. So that's why you only see that the major big boys, the major players, are the ones you found offshore, the international oil companies, the ExxonMobils of this world, the Total, the Chevrons and co. So it's a big leap for us to take that risk, take that step going into this, because even as way back as 2005 bid round during the Obasanjo era, some of them they were giving on the offshore side till today are still yet to come into production because challenges are a lot more, and the kind of funding you require to do that, it's quite a lot.
As a responsible and corporate entity, Emadeb Exploration and Production Company is dedicated to maintaining a high level of commitment to duty, upholding the highest standard of integrity and professionalism in its operations.
We are using a pneumatic export pump to send the oil to the export tanker. Currently, empty Bedford is the motor tanker that is receiving the oil that will convey the oil to the point of export. So we also ascertain the quality of the oil to make sure that the oil meets specification. We pick the sample point from the test separator, the oil outlet from the test separator. The lab tech chemist will pick the sample and analyze for the BS&W to ascertain the quality of the oil. Also test for the API of the oil as well.
This is our laboratory. In here, we run analysis on crude oil, and these analyses are API, BS&W, salt in crude, water content by distillation, BS&W, that is basic sediment and water, pour points, and of course, rate vapor pressure. All these parameters mentioned are within specification. Then our crude oil is sellable, and it is the best in the market.
You must have breathed a sigh of relief when empty Bedford, fully loaded, sailed to Bonny. Relief.
What we're doing today with the empty Bedford, it's not one of the cheaper ways of getting oil into the market. So this is a process where you call barging. So what it is that we have to take that vessel, produce into that vessel. Of course, the vessel cost running per day, it's quite expensive. And not only that, you're going to inject that oil into another production line, which probably will now go from an existing production, which is happening maybe there all the way to Bonny. And that's the only way to get the oil into the market today. But in a shorter period of time, everything all going well, right financing, getting the right approvals from the government, there's nothing that stops us from direct exporting from our facility and getting our oil into the market directly rather than going through a third party. So this is actually very key, and this is where we need the support of the government. Is super important to the success of what we have today.
The company is committed to exploring gas opportunities, recognizing the critical role that natural gas will play as a transition fuel in Nigeria's energy mix.
This is the most exciting part, where you see the output of what the well can do. And we started off by lighting up the pilot. It's a small fire that you put just at the flare tip, so that when the gas starts coming out, it can be lit, and you can see the flare is already coming up. And the whole idea is to gradually bring the well in until you get it to a stable flow. You unload all the water, get it to about 10% BS&W. At that point in time, the well is ready to be flown. We've secured the well. Productivity is being assessed as we speak. The next phase is to bring in the mobile offshore producing units and the FSO, which is the storage unit that will take the production before we take it to market. So all the requirements to make that happen is being worked with the commission, and we are super excited about this moment.
The gas separated from the tail separator is being sent to the flame. We have a sprinkler system that prevents the radiant heat from coming to us. So that sprinkler system is always in service, and that also helps to reduce the radiant heat that is being radiated from the flame.
Here we have the exploit discharge point from the Ibom process units to the shuttle vessel where the product is being discharged to for exploits.
A long-term game plan here is for the company to build its gas business. And when you're talking about gas here, gas is the way forward for the world. Gas is needed. You can see today the amount of LNG being required all over the world, and you can see so many other things that you can do with gas. And Nigeria is one of the richest countries on the gas side. There's so much. You can see, you've been to locations around and you see the amount of gas being flared and being wasted. But that is going to turn to money in the next 5 to 10 years.
With sights on becoming a leading player in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, Emadeb Exploration and Production Company is poised to make a significant impact on the nation's economic growth and development.
The future is extremely bright. The credentials have been established in terms of competence. The export is happening. There is clearly a requirement for further financing to allow Emadeb scale. That financing should get easier, again, because you have the right type of setup, right type of governance, right type of technical expertise in terms of the management of the company, right type of financing teams in place. I think it actually should be a game changer going forward. We clearly are aligned and positioned in the right manner, and going forward with the right kind of support, I think we can go places and achieve the milestones that the CEO and the board has set as our future.
Having succeeded in drilling and producing this asset, as a company, we had a few challenges, just like every other upstream company. We're able to embark in bringing the assets to production in spite of these challenges. We strongly believe our commitment and the team's commitment towards ensuring that we continue to increase this production required effort of every member of this team in achieving this feat, and we believe that going forward we'll continue to increase the asset production over time to ensure that the company and the subservice companies attain success.
This is actually a major milestone, a major break. First oils. That means you're seeing your oil going into the market. What you projected, not just as a concept in your mind, your soul spirit, 5 years ago, now seeing it driving into the market. That oil could go all the way to Thailand, it could go all the way to the US. So it's first to give thanks to Almighty Father, God, for making this happen, because at a point in time, even myself, I almost lost hope. But God gave us all the support and strategic support of family and friends and good people who encourage us to carry on. But this is not, because playing in this space is not, and I say it's not a joke. And when we're looking, the kind of money we're talking about here, they're not things that you want to keep on mentioning, but honestly, to the glory of God, that we're going into the market and seeing a relief in getting this oil into the market today. It's a testament of God's mercy. We intend to employ a lot of Nigerians. We intend to bring Nigeria out of poverty. We intend to bring a lot of young youths which are very unemployed, all around the country, to create food on the table and to bring life back to the nation. So Emadeb's own plan is to be able to run from the minimal production where we are now to become a 50,000 production company within the next 5 years.